Huge GTA 6 list just dropped. It looks like the game is already on Steam with a potential release date set for October 25th, 2025. But that's not all. Rumors are swirling about a relationship system similar to Red Dead Redemption 2's Honor Meter. You might see Jason and Lucia's relationship go from romantic dates to toxic betrayals depending on how you play. And get this, there's a wild theory that Jason could be a dirty cop. Imagine him starting as Lucia's parole officer only to get pulled into a life of crime and eventually lose it all. This game is shaping up to be the most intense GTA experience yet. Stay tuned for more leaks. Here we start with the life GTA 6 life story. I don't know, like call it like you want, but this looks amazing. Someone recorded a GTA 6 possible trailer in real life and this one looks pretty amazing. Just imagine if GTA 6 actually looks like this. What do you think? Let's go for more. Just a reminder of how big this map is going to be. Next up we go. It's gotta stop as here everybody is milking the GTA 6 trailer 1. I mean, that's for sure. That's gotta stop. Next up, what activities and or interiors would you want in GTA 6? Since we're getting the game next year, I'm curious what do you guys want in GTA 6 and what activities and or interiors would you want? Me personally, for activities, I would want water sports activities, basketball, dodgeball, and baseball. Car shows maybe would be hella cool. And for interiors, I would want purchasable mansions, hotels, cruise ships, houses, and way more customizable yachts. Maybe extensive customization for all of these. I know it's all a tall order to ask, but given Rockstar's insane track record, it's not completely far-fetched. As here we go, I want casinos in single player. As next, since Take-Two owns Rockstar, I think we're gonna have a full-fledged basketball system in GTA 6 with plays and everything. Surfing for sure, fishing for sure, shooting, car shows definitely. I just hope all of these stuff is in single player. Being able to buy homes, apartments, etc. I hope gambling is available like no limit poker, blackjack and roulette. And 52 factorial is such an astronomically large number and I hope they are able to really randomize the card dealing so it's way more realistic. Next up we go. The fun fact is that Stephanie has a boyfriend but they're not married or engaged. Although we see a photo of the couple on her desk, there's no signs of rings on her hands as this could imply a lot about her personality. And this is something for the storyline. Next up, GTA 6 has a big opportunity with horses. Before I start, I know GTA 6 is gonna sell extremely well with or without horses, but it would be a fun addition nonetheless. For many horse enthusiasts, there isn't a really realistic online horse game with a modern setting. I've heard of many horse lovers playing Red Dead 2 solely for the fact that it has arguably the best horse mechanics ever. These are people that never touch games like that, but just want to ride horses. Many of these people come from Star Stable, which is very child-friendly horse MMO, but nowhere near realistic as Red Dead 2. If GTA 6 has horses like Red Dead 2, a whole new community will be buying this game, especially those who want to do roleplay or dress up in a modern setting. Even adding show jumping shouldn't be hard. Some of these people don't even touch Red Dead 2 story or online mission, just what's necessary to ride their favorite horse. I think it would add a lot of variety and scope to the game. What is your take on severe weather in GTA 6? As here we could see the possible position on the map and the possible weathers that we might have, as this is not a map of GTA 6, it's just a custom Google Maps layer over the Miami beach. Next up, relationship options from the leaks. A while back when GTA 6 was leaked, there was a rumor that we would have a romance relationship matter system similar to Red Dead 2's Honor Meter system. In the leaks, there are 4 options of the relationship that can affect Jason and Lucia: romantical, romantic chaotic, pragmatical, and pragmatic chaotic. I've seen a lot of theories about what does it mean in the game, but I do see a theory that I thought it's interesting that could happen in the game. Romantical, good relationship between each other, you go out on cute dates between robberies. Romantic chaotic, toxic relationship, cheating on each other, betraying each other, and generally only thinking of themselves. Pragmatical, successful partners in crime but aren't romantically involved. Pragmatic, chaotic, not romantically involved but also don't care about each other, so you end up fucking each other, both literally and metaphorically. That's why I believe this could happen in the game, but what do you guys think on this one? Like all the advertisements for the game were the two of them together as a couple, why go the opposite way of advertising? Player choice. I mean, pretty much every official reference to GTA 5's plot suggests that the third way is a canon ending, so why do the options to kill Michael and Trevor still actually exist if the third one is canon? Next up we go, Jason being a dirty cop instead of an undercover one. I know Jason being an undercover cop is a common theory on this sub, and while a lot of you have pointed out that it's too out there regarding an undercover cop character going on crime sprees, both in free play and when completing missions, I mostly agree with this. So how about Jason being a dirty cop instead? He might be Lucia's parole officer for when she gets out and she pulls him into a life of crime, and it'll particularly advantageous for Lucia to have a cop boyfriend plus partner in a crime that knows the ins and outs of police tactics. That, and at one point or another, Jason gets busted for being a dirty cop, gets thrown out there of the police force, and now he's got nothing left to lose, as he's edge deep into a life of crime. Thoughts and theories that Jason is a dirty cop. I doubt it. Killing tons of cops during the game, even if dirty, nah, makes no sense to me. I think he starts as a low-life criminal with Lucia fucking around people, and they are getting in major trouble. What if he's like Frank Tenpenny from San Andreas? That dude was just a full-blown criminal with a badge. That's a bad example. Did Tenpenny run around doing missions and killing tons of cops on the way like we normally do? No, pretty much not. True, but he did directly kill quite a few people, and it's heavily implied that he killed the police officers he threatened to frame CJ for at the beginning of the game. Public buses, a feature that was always overlooked in previous games and was the usable trains as a passenger. It's also the great world building. However, on their own, they are pretty useless with only a handful of stations. How would you feel if 6 completed a public transit experience with buses usable as a passenger like taxis? Would make for a neat civilian RP. Guessing the bulk of the work would be further designing bus routes to be practical and realistic instead of just a handful just for those looks like in 5. I imagine like taxis, you could get in a passenger by presenting triangle or hold it to still and drive. Once inside, the next stop is shown on the radar. The inside of the bus has a dynamic screen based on the ones in taxis showing the name of the next stop. IRL stop names are standardized using the names of the streets making up the intersection, so most names could be generated by the engine, with a handful of stops manually names for important locations like the airport or train stations. When the next stop is the one you want, press a button to request a stop. Mafia 4 was just announced at the Gamescom, and that has me thinking something about GTA 6 release. Hangar 13, who develops the Mafia game, is also a Take-Two developer. They announced that Mafia 4 is coming next year. It's going to be called Mafia, the Old Country, and is set in Sicily and is about the early days of the mob. They also announced we'll get another look in December and that it's launching in 2025. That has me thinking there's no way Take-Two is going to release Mafia anywhere near GTA 6, and I've been hearing rumors of Mafia 4 for years, and what the leaks were saying that has turned out to be true, that it will be set in Sicily in the early 1900s. So I'm guessing it has probably been in development for a long time and is probably in more close finished than GTA 6. No insult to either developer, since GTA 6 for sure has more features and other things to take into account in development. I don't think Mafia 4 will be as complex considering the time period it'll be set in, and Hangar 13 is probably not going as hard on being realistic to Sicily as Rockstar is to Miami, Florida. So maybe Mafia 4 early in the year and GTA 6 in the fall. And I don't really want to stir up worry, but it has me worried because if we get a date for Mafia 4 before GTA 6, I'm pretty sure they'll hint when GTA 6 will drop, and if that date isn't fall 2025, I don't even want to say this, but GTA 6 may be getting delayed into 2026. Hopefully not, and I'm happy Mafia is coming back too, and if we get this both in the same year, that'll be incredible. I'm hoping Mafia is back in shape and does get to shine. I tried to make a Steam page for GTA 6. Imagine a day 1 PC release, holy hell, that will be massive. And yeah, not happening for a long time, PS5 or Xbox if you want to actually play GT6 when it releases. As we won't know, probably they will release this time PC day 1, very low chances. Well, their scheduled release still has GT6 listed with PS5 and Xbox, and it hasn't been updated to PC yet. There's still time for them to update it as we get closer to release, but going by history, it's always been console first, then PC a year later. Rockstar similarly teased extreme weather effects, including heavy rainstorms and waterspouts, in the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. As first one we got on the Weasel news, and the second one we got a heavy rainstorm on one of the scenes, as well as some puddles on the ground. So that's kind of all the information we got on today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one, and peace.